Awesome. So we're live. Cool. All right, guys. So welcome and thank you for joining us today for this incredible session, How to Land a Job in the US as a first-time job seeker. Before we do begin, a little bit about Products by Women for those of you who don't know too much about us. We are an inclusive, diverse global community making skill based jobs, mentorship, and professional development opportunities accessible for women. I'm Naimisha, founder of Products by Women. I also work in product and I do a bunch of other things. I'm a Forbes contributor. Sit on a couple of boards. You can learn all about me on LinkedIn. Feel free to add me. I'm happy to chat after. Yeah, and we do have a bunch of opportunities on Products by Women. We are happy to feature your voice, what you're doing, and get involved in a bunch of ways. If you'd like to learn more, feel free to email us at productsbywomen.com. A couple of housekeeping tips before we do get started. Please do keep yourself on mute throughout the session so it does not conflict with the session's quality. Anjali does have some amazing things to say today, so we're really excited about that. Feel free to drop your comments and questions in the chat box throughout the session. We will be getting to them at the end of the session. And if we don't, then you can reach out to Anjali at all times. Note that this session is recorded, so we will be circulating it after the session on our Slack channel, on our YouTube channel, and also a follow-up email will be going out to each of you. You can also find all this information on productsbywomen.com. With that, I'd love to kind of pass it on to Anjali to introduce herself and take it from here. So, Anjali, feel free to take it away from here.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. I'm sure you all know me by now. If you've joined this session, you know me in some form or the other, either through my Instagram page or through Products by Women. So, without holding you guys up, I am going to start our session and I will give you my introduction when I start the session. Okay. So let me know when you see my screen. Is this good?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, awesome. So welcome everyone. I am Anjali Nair, founder of Desi Girl in US, and this is our live workshop. And our topic today is how to land your first job in the United States as a first-time job seeker. And before I get to the chase and tell you exactly how to do these, I want you to walk with me through a story. And I want you to write down in the chat box if you have any similarity with my timeline or if yours looked much better or worse than mine. And let me tell you, all of us somehow have similar journeys. So a very quick recap of my timeline. I moved to the United States after I got married. After I moved here, it was all fun. It was freedom. I got to, be with my husband, no in-laws, got to really enjoy my honeymoon phase. We got to travel. I got to, experiment with my cooking. He made some meals for me. It was just a blast. It was a very good phase. But sadly, that phase was short-lived because I hit back to reality very soon when my husband left home at 8 a.m. for work, and I had to spend the rest of the time waiting for him to come back home so that we could have more fun because I literally had no job. I was just sitting here watching Netflix, spent the entire day either over the phone talking to my parents in India or just like whiling away time, because we have so much time when we're here. We realize that. So that was like the fall when it started. No job, loneliness because I'm home alone, don't know anyone else. I also had hormonal imbalance because it was a complete lifestyle change for me from a working woman with a very thriving career in India as a brand manager in the pharmaceutical industry. I was at home, cooking, cleaning, and doing all the house chores that I don't think we imagined to do when we moved here, but we kind of had to. Also, by lifestyle change, I mean it was a very big change in terms to our eating habits, to the time difference. Uh, our body goes through a lot, so I did go through a lot of imbalance over that time. I did not have any friends. Um, I had I was losing my confidence day by day, and all this happened over a span of months. Um, this did not happen one fine day. It happened over the months. So in the chat box, write down and tell me if you faced anything like this, if you went through anything like this, so that we all know that we're in this together. And now that I've like brought you to the saddest part of my life, I want to show you what happened from there. After that phase, there was sort of a moment where I had to pick myself up and really get to know why America is called the land of opportunities. It all started changing when I started volunteering and stepped out of the house, when I got my driver's license, when I got my first bank account. Those were some pivotal milestones that I achieved, which may seem very small and silly to a lot of us, but it was a big deal for me. And then the shining moment was when I got my first job. And it was not easy. That phase from volunteering to first job was very long and very tedious. There were a lot of roadblocks in front of me, which I had never imagined. At least for me, it felt like, hey, once I get the work permit, companies will be, ready looking to hire me. But sadly, that was not the reality. There were a lot of roadblocks and a lot of disappointment on the way. Tell me, how do you feel, or how did you feel when you went from employed to unemployed, from India to US? This is what I felt. I had to write this down because I started journaling to write exactly how I'm feeling, and this is what was decoded out of my time spent. I realized that when I have no job, I have no income. No income means no purpose. No purpose means isolation. Isolation leads to loss of confidence, and loss of confidence leads to loss of identity. In any of this, do you think you have to write any of this in your resume? Do you think they look for any of this when they interview you? Do you think there's any word here that resonates with you that you feel, I need to get better with this? I didn't feel so. But I'm here to tell you that these are all some things. When I switched it, it really worked in my favor to land a job. So let me know if you went through this too. Write down that exact word that you are feeling right now if you are dependent on a visa where you can't work. What is that one word that you are feeling right now? Add that in the chat box. I'm going to read it. Fast forward to 2021. This is me. Anjali Nair is not just a marketing specialist, is not just a blogger, is not just a community builder, is not just a founder. Yes, these are all titles and they may seem, wow, she's achieved it all, she's done it all. But this was not an overnight success. This did not happen one fine day. This was not by luck. This was not by chance. All of this happened over time with a lot of hard work and by picking up the right skills at the right time. And today I'm going to teach you how to do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. The only thing that's holding you back is no one's really sharing with you how to do this. So not only am I going to show you everything that helped me to land my first job, I'm also going to share the stepwise plan that I followed to avoid the job search mistakes that I did as a first time job seeker. It took me 8 whole months of applying for jobs every day to land my first entry level job in marketing. It doesn't have to be like that for you. You could get your first job in a matter of few months, in a matter of few days, provided you follow this guideline and work towards it. This is not a magic formula. You have to work towards it, but I'm going to give you a guideline of how to do it. Are you ready? So we're going to get started with how to land your first job in the United States. If you have a pen and a paper, please take notes. And if you have any questions, I will answer all of them in the end. Okay, so the first thing, I know a lot of people here are on a dependent visa and they don't have a work permit yet. Are you one of those people who does not have a work permit yet and who are bored to their minds, who don't know what to do right now? The next 4 slides are for you. 4 things that you should do right now before you get your work permit. Let's jump to it. Number 1, start building your social and professional network. And by this, I mean not just your social media, but in real life. So there are 3 ways by which you could build your network. 1 is through LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very powerful platform by which you can develop your professional identity and also network with people who are from your field or from parallel fields. So utilize LinkedIn, update your profile, and start connecting with people you haven't spoken to in a long time. Reconnect with them, connect with newer folks, and increase that network of yours. Number 2, networking in person. Now, this may seem like a thing of the past because in 2020, we didn't have any networking events in person. But believe me, they're going to make a comeback. And when they do, I want you to be ready with some social skills in order to go and network in person. So if you've never attended a networking event before, I want you to go to your Facebook or Google and type networking events near me, and you will find a list of them. If you see an event that is near you, which is free to minimal cost to go and attend, if you think that is a place where you would develop your professional network, you would meet some new people, you should definitely sign up for it. Networking events is a great way to get to know people within your community, outside of your community. What are people doing right now? What kinds of jobs are out there? What kind of market is out there? What are people talking right now? What is the current topic that's on people's mind? There are several things that you'll get to know when you go for networking events. I got my first job through a networking event. So never undermine the return of getting by having connections with real people. Number 3, social media. If you are spending your time on social media, scrolling through people's posts and liking their posts and thinking why your life does not look like theirs, you are wasting your time on social media. Use social media for what it was created for. Socialize with people. You like following someone, you admire their work, send them a message. Say, hi, I really like your work. I like reading so-and-so, and I would love to get your advice on so-and-so. If you've been one of those silent followers, this is your time to send that person a message. You like something, you like a recipe, comment, tell you really like this recipe and you tried it out. This is how you start building real connections with people, by talking to them, not by leaving emojis, by really talking to them. So, three things to build your social and professional network: LinkedIn, networking events, social media. Number two, volunteer. Look for volunteering opportunities so that you gain work experience in the United States. Now, this experience may or may not bring you income. Let me say may not bring you income, because volunteering is done for a cause or for a skill. So there are two types of volunteering. For example, you really believe in animal rights and you want to go and work for an organization like that. You strongly believe for a cause and you want to volunteer with them. Go for it. Now, if you tell me, Anjali, I don't really believe in causes, I just want some work experience. Great. Look for volunteering opportunities near you. See if there is some place that you can go in person and utilize your skills. If it is something that seems beneath you, even better, take it up. You've not done data entry in quite a while, do it now. You haven't spoken over the phone as a customer service rep, do it now. Volunteering will help you not only develop new skills, but also brush up your existing skills. It will teach you things like teamwork, working culture in the United States, and development of soft skills. All three, which are extremely crucial when you apply for your first full-time job. So if you've been on the fence about volunteering, apply for one right away. You may not get the right opportunity at the right time. That's why I would advise start now and keep applying. There are a lot of opportunities. Number three, develop and polish your soft skills and communication skills. How can you do this? There are three ways to do. One is practice your reading, practice your listening, and then ultimately your speaking skills. I was just talking to one person right before our presentation today, and she asked me the same question: how do I improve my communication skills? There are a lot of things that you can do, but ultimately what really matters and how you are tested by your communication skill is how you speak. If you can speak well and the other person understands what you're saying, you have communicated clearly. If you are having a problem understanding what the other person is saying, if the other person is having difficulty understanding what you are saying, that means you need to brush up on your communication skills. And we're blessed. We're actually blessed because a lot of us have been to English medium schools. We've studied in English. So English is good already. All you need to do is tweak it and utilize American English when you speak so that they understand you better. Three tools. Number one, I have a cheat sheet on my website. It's called the Ultimate Cheat Sheet to Speak American English, where I share a list of American English vocabulary. It is free to download. You can go to my website, download it, and start practicing. And how do you practice? You practice with a buddy. If you have a friend in your community, or if you have someone that you've seen but you've never spoken to, this is your chance. Go talk to them, practice with them. When you speak, I want you to use American English vocabulary so that you start getting better at using American English words. Number three, start learning the etiquette that people follow here. By etiquette, I mean these are some do's and don'ts that locals follow here, and they also expect others to know. Now, there is no rule book for this, but there are certain guidelines and principles that if you observe, you will understand. So, for example, if you're walking around your community and you see a person walking past you and they say, "Hey, how's it going?" Do you stop and respond? Do you say, "Yes, I am doing good. How are you?" Do you stop and wait to talk to them? Or do you say, "Hey, how's it going?" and keep walking? That was a lesson for me because I was one of those people who stopped to answer their question. And I also waited for them to talk to me further. But that was just a basic courtesy. That was their way of saying hello. They don't really want to know what's going on in your life, but that's their way of greeting you. So that was a lesson for me. Oh, okay, this is how people say hello here. 3 tools: American English cheat sheet, practice American vocabulary with a buddy, 3, learn American etiquette. Number 4, take courses to learn something new or stay abreast with your industry. So if you are from a technical field, if you are from, say, a creative field, if you are from the field of HR, finance, marketing, whatever, when you move here, it is going to take you a few months or a year or some time before you get back to the grind. So until then, you don't want all that you've already learned, all that you've already experienced to go waste, right? Because career gap is one of our major concerns here. So what do we do in this time to make sure that we are not forgetting what we learned? 3 things. First, if you really, really have to and wish to study further, you could join a community college. Look at community colleges near you, look at some programs that they offer, and you could always join a community college if you want to study further and doing a master's is out of your budget. Community college is an excellent choice. Now, if you tell me, "Anjali, I've already done my master's and MBA, I don't wish to study further," perfectly fine. I did not. Instead, I did certifications and courses. So you will find plenty of online courses and certifications. Now, what happens is you may pick up the first course that is free. Great, do it, because you first have to know what is in the course and if you like doing it and if this is something where you've learned something new. But after you do a bunch of free courses, look at certifications where it is a paid certification and you're getting a legit certificate at the end. Because this can go on your resume. This can go on your LinkedIn. And these are some topics that will be a topic of conversation in your interview. So these are some things that you could do in order to stay abreast with what's going on in your industry, if there was any new tool, if there is any new way of doing things, if there is a new skill that you need to know or you need to have, provided you wish to pursue in the same field. If you wish to switch your career or transition to a different role or a different industry altogether, then again, go for the free courses first to understand if that's your cup of tea. And if it is yes, then do a paid certification over it. All right, so those were my top 4 things to do when you are waiting for your EAD. Any questions, any thoughts, please add them in the chat box and I will answer all your questions in the end. And I will also share my stepwise process. Okay, moving forward. If you have received your work permit, what should you be doing? Now, whatever I explain you in the next 4 slides, these are some things that people who don't have a work permit yet can also do. But the reason I added this here is because here you don't have the choice. You have to do. Or there is no way you're going to land an interview. So the next 4 things, very crucial. 4 things to do after you get your work permit. Number 1, you should have your resume updated. And by updated, I don't mean just add a couple of points to your existing resume. You actually need to create a resume that is accepted by employers here. If you don't know yet, the resume or CV that you used in your home country is different from what employers are expecting to see from your resume here. So I want you to go and see what are some resume templates that you could use and start all over again. So have your resume created in such a way that it gets selected. Number two, if you don't know what a cover letter is, I want you to look it up. Cover letter is a letter that you write to the hiring manager when you are applying for a job. And a cover letter is where you explain why you are the right person to be hired for this job. What are you going to bring to the table? And why are you interested in this company? The cover letter is very important because the cover letter is read by the hiring manager. And that makes them decide if they want to call you for an interview or no. So two important things, resume, cover letter goes hand in hand. Number two, I want you to research on the job market that you are going to apply for and connect with recruiters in that vertical. For example, there are recruiters for every single vertical. There are recruiters for IT jobs. There are recruiters for finance jobs. There are recruiters for HR. There are recruiters for marketing. There are recruiters only for the C-suite. There are recruiters only for entry-level jobs. There are different kinds of recruiters, but you need to connect with and find recruiters that recruit people in your job market, in your job industry, in your particular role. And understanding the job market is important because the way the job market works in the United States is very different from our home country. There are a lot of players here, and there are some players that you don't want to connect with. For example, if you find someone who tells you that they guarantee you a job, that is a big red flag. No one can guarantee you a job here except for you. So be careful who you work with, who you connect with, who you pay your money to. So research and then validate with someone who has already done this before so that you know you're on the right path. Number three, word of mouth, underutilized. If you are going to get your work permit, you should have started telling people yesterday that you're looking for a job. Your friends, your family, your neighbor, anyone and everyone that you know here, or even if you don't, you got to tell them, I am in the job market and I am looking. There is no shame in telling people that you're looking for a job. The more you tell, the more people may start putting you at the top of their mind. So if I know there is a job opportunity, I can't think of a name who I can refer to. But if you come and tell me, Anjali, I've been looking for a job in so and so field, if you hear of something, keep me in mind. That's when it'll come to me that, oh, you know what? There is a position and I know this girl and I can refer her. So the more people you tell, the better. There is no shame, there is no harm. This is how a lot of people land jobs, through referrals. When a human connects another human, there is a higher chance of you getting an interview. That is why you should network. That is why you should volunteer. That is why you need to know more people. You see how all of that connects? If you tell me I don't know here anyone, I want you to know people. Those were the things that you had to do pre-EAD, remember? So you got to tell everyone you are job hunting. If you're on LinkedIn, you tell people. If you're on social media, you tell people, hey, what's up with you these days? I'm busy job hunting. I'm looking for a new opportunity. This should be your answer. And last but not the least, lean on an expert. We are extremely lucky to be in the United States at a time when there is a wealth of information. 5 years from today, there was zero information. When I moved, I found no information. I didn't have anyone to tell me what to do next. You may be incredibly lucky if your husband is in the same field as you, but mine wasn't. So he couldn't help me much. I had to figure out my own way. But what helps is finding a person who has been through that exact same journey or a similar process like you and who can guide you. There are a lot of people you will find who will give you advice, but shut that noise and look for that one person who resonates with you. That person could be your friend, your guide, your mentor, or even your coach. If that person can show you what to do next, you should lean on that person and go for the next steps, because that person is going to save you a hell lot of time, money, and effort. Those were my 4 points each for things to do before EAD and things to do after EAD. Now, I want you to think over this. What if someone who's been through this entire process can teach you step by step what to do next and how to do it? If you know how to do all of these things, you are golden. You will not only get your resume selected, you will not only land an interview, you would not only crack that interview and land a job with the salary that you wish, but during that time, you would also gain all the skills and knowledge that that person has had over years and passed it on to you in a matter of few days or weeks. So this is a little bit about me if you did not know. I've helped over 200 women in 2020 pro bono with no cost involved. I helped them after my 9 to 5 job. Every day I spoke to several women and helped them with whatever problem or issue they were going through. Through my coaching program, I've helped women land jobs and increase their salary by $14,000. I've helped more than 500 women make new friends here. And that feels amazing. I've built a community of over 11,000 immigrants, which is phenomenal. Having the entire community with you, which is growing every day, which is supporting you every day, cheering you on every day. And the 2 resources that I created last year, which is the cheat sheet and the 5 mistakes you should avoid when you get a job, when you apply for a job. There's 750 plus downloads for it, and I've always gotten positive feedback. So if you are one of those women that I've helped before, if I've spoken to before, I am thankful. And I want to extend this to you as well if you haven't spoken to me yet. I want you to look at the American Dream Toolkit, which can be found on the anjalinair.com/toolkit. This is exclusively created for women in the United States to not only land their job, but also develop skills that will help them land that job. Let me tell you how it works. This is the 4-step process that I had to go through to land a job in the US. I had to first regain my lost confidence because I was at my lowest. And when that confidence slowly started coming back, I started making new friends. Till then, I did not even have the confidence to go and speak to a new person. When I started making new friends, it helped me communicate better because I started learning from them. When my communication got better, I had a better chance of landing a job in marketing in the US. And that was not easy. If I would have focused only on marketing related courses and gone straight applying for jobs and giving an interview, I would have never landed a job. If I had not brushed up on my skills, if I had not leaned on someone who has been through this, if I had not gone through this step by step, I don't know about 8 months, but I'm sure it would have taken me quite some time to understand what mistakes I was making and then land a job. So if you wish to download any of these toolkits, you can contact me. For anyone who has attended this session today, I am going to extend an extra discount and offer these toolkits to download for 30% discount. And this is everything that you get with it. You develop essential, intermediate, and advanced skills in career, communication, social skills, and confidence and grooming. You will learn all of this through my video trainings, through assignments, and through 15 plus PDF resources that is not available anywhere. And the bonus, if you download this toolkit today or tomorrow, you can attend my next workshop, which is on June 30th on LinkedIn strategies for first-time job seeker. You can watch and learn anytime at your own pace once you download. And you also get lifetime access to new trainings. So if you download the career toolkit today, I will constantly be updating that toolkit. So you will keep getting my updates. So that is all about the American Dream Toolkit, which is exclusively made for you. So if you want to download those toolkits, contact me and I will share more information. So now to summarize our session, 8 things you need to start working on. Number 1, build your network. Number 2, volunteer. Number 3, gain communication skills, which will make you more marketable in the corporate America job market. Take up courses and certifications that add to your skills and your resume. Number 5, create your resume and draft your cover letter that is ready to go when you start applying for jobs. Start researching and understanding your job market and start connecting with recruiters within your vertical. Start telling people that you are looking for opportunities. Use that word of mouth. And last but not the least, find a mentor or an expert who can guide you, who can show you how to do things and save you all your time and energy. So if you wish, you can screenshot this slide, you could share it on Instagram and tell me what was your biggest takeaway from this entire session. And if there is anything in particular that you wish to ask me, we have the Q&A around here, or you could also message me. So I want to leave the floor open for any questions that you may have, and I'm happy to answer. If you haven't connected with me yet, I am at Desi Girl in US on Instagram. You can message me and ask me any questions if we fall short of time today. But if not, the floor is open. And Namisha, I am ready to ask questions.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Do I think I hear an echo? Do you hear it too?
I
First,
do. Yeah.
hmm, is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Firstly, Anjali, thank you so much for this incredible session. It was absolutely amazing. I do want to start with this one question that Hima just put into the chat box, which is how did you stay motivated during the job hunt period? And I think this is something, which kind of stays with all of us immigrants who move to the US. I mean, even after 10 years of being here in the US, I feel like there are times where I'm like, oh my goodness, this is hard.
Yeah.
Finding a job on a work visa or on a dependent visa, it's all very challenging.
Yeah.
And to constantly be your biggest cheerleader is the hardest part. So, what kind of resources, how did you stay motivated through this journey? Would love to know.
So this might come as a surprise to you, but I was not very active on social media when I was looking for a job, and that was a mistake on my end. So when I was searching for a job, I did not do it the right way. I would literally spend 7 hours from the time my husband leaves to work till the time he comes back. Maybe I spend an hour or two in chores, but other than that, I was constantly online applying for jobs day in and day out. That was the only thing on my mind. So I don't think I did it the right way because your job search should not be your full time job because that is when it affects your mental health. And I won't lie, it did. uh, I would get burnt out just by applying for jobs every day and not hear back from people. I had a running list on my Excel sheet because I lost track of the number of applications I had given so far because I wouldn't hear back from companies, and it did affect my motivation. And I don't mean to like bitch about my husband, but there are times when your life partner may also not be your biggest cheerleader. There were days when he would motivate me, but then there were days when he's like, why aren't you hearing back from anyone? Are we doing something wrong? Do you still want to pursue marketing? And that's when I would get all kinds of advice like, have you considered switching your field? Have you considered studying further? Have you considered approaching a consultancy? Have you considered changing your resume? I have gotten every advice that you shouldn't be getting, which distracts you, which, doesn't let you focus. I have gotten all of that. But I feel like I was so passionate about the field that I wanted to be in. I was confident that I am going to get into marketing. And I just shut all of those noises. Uh, I'm not telling you I am the strongest. I don't think I went to bed smiling. I don't think I woke up smiling. But that was a very bad phase that I was in. And I absolutely don't recommend that pattern to anyone. So if you are searching for a job right now and you wish to stay motivated, do not spend all your waking hours applying for a job. Have a set routine. Go through your routine. You should go get a walk. You should do your chores. You should watch something for entertainment. Go by your day the way you're doing right now. Just because you're in the job search mode doesn't mean that you have to keep doing it. And talk to as many people as possible. Not so that they add to your tension, but so that you could relieve your stress and ask them, hey, what would you have done if you were in my place? I didn't have a lot of people to talk to, so I was kind of in a dark place. But if you want to talk to someone, you could always message me and I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you for sharing that, Anjali. I think that was wonderful advice. I have no clue what's going on with my audio, but I hope you can hear me okay.
Yes, yes, we're good.
All right, perfect. So I wanted to get to the second part of my question, which is volunteering, right? Like you spoke about volunteering, and do you have any resources that you would like? like to share with everybody here. But before we do jump into that, I do want to build on what you just mentioned, which is the job search process itself, right? Like, I mean, I think I've been there too, where you've submitted countless thousands and like in thousands, literally,
Yeah.
job applications as an immigrant. And let me tell you, for every one job that's posted on LinkedIn, there are close to 500 plus applications. So your resume is literally going into a black hole.
Yeah.
And just to kind of reiterate what Anjali mentioned, I think even for you to find a job or an exploratory interview or just get that screener call, the chances increase if you're actually making those real human connections, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on social media, whether it's on Instagram or anywhere else, or here on Slack.
Yeah.
Um, I do want to mention that we do have our community-based referral job board. These are jobs posted by the community, like people like Anjali and me. Um, so if you find anything at all which resonates with you, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll do our
Yeah.
best to redirect your resumes to the right hands. And now, just jumping back into the question about volunteering opportunities,
Mhm.
any resources there?
So how I did was I would just type volunteering opportunities near me, and there is a website called Volunteer Match, which will show you volunteering opportunities within your radius. But there are also other websites that I found which helps you get remote volunteering opportunities. So if you're someone who does not want to go in and in person volunteer with an organization, there are websites where you could sign up and look for positions where you could work from home. So it could either be as simple as answering the phone for that organization and just being like their receptionist, or answering any customer queries, or if it is data entry project, or if it's a research based project, or if it's a social media project. There are tons of things right now that you could explore and get into if you look for remote volunteering opportunities. I actually have a list of close to 10 or 15 websites that I've included in my career toolkit. So if you're looking for volunteering opportunities or internship opportunities, I do have all of that listed, which is a part of the career toolkit. But if you're looking for something that is near you or for remote opportunities, a simple Google search and you will get a lot of results for what you're looking for.
Thank you. And I do want to give everybody the opportunity here to, and feel free to raise your hand or unmute yourself and ask a question, or drop them in the chat box, and we'll be happy to kind of pull you up on stage. But the other question, Anjali, that I had was related to, with COVID happening, there are close to 2.3 million women who've left the job workforce, right?
Yeah.
How Any thoughts on how we can kind of integrate women back into the workforce, especially those who those on dependent visas and they're trying to come back? What are some top skills? I know we spoke about this briefly in our live, but what are some skills one should kind of brush up on to make
Sure.
a return back into the workforce?
Yeah, no, definitely. So, if you have taken a career break, or if you are, getting back into the workforce this year or next year, a lot has changed. Like Namisha said, a lot has changed in the job market over the past couple of years, and there are more and more opportunities available remote. So what comes with remote working is an extra set of credentials and skills that you need to show if you are not working in person. I'm not saying that you don't need those skills when you're in person, you definitely do, but if you're working remote, you need to display those skills all the more so that it's evident that you are the right fit and the right person for the job. So skills would be first, communication skill. I cannot stress enough on this. So by communication skills, I mean you should know how to answer in an interview. You should know how to conduct a Zoom meeting with your team. You must know how to talk to your manager. You must know how to talk to your peers. You must know how to network around within your workspace, especially if you're working virtual. So communication skills goes a long way to not only get referrals, to not only get spread that word out, but also it makes you more confident as a person. So communication skills for sure. Number two, you should have the right amount of technical skills and soft skills. So when you look at the job description, you would see like they break it down to three different parts. So one is the description, one is the technical skills that they need, and three is the core competencies or the soft skills that they're looking for. And believe it or not, all of us skip that third section thinking that we have all those skills. Team player, sure, I'm a team player. I'm an excellent communicator. I have excellent work ethic. I can do time management. All of that, right? We like don't even look at that list because we assume we have all those qualities. But the deciding factor when it comes between deciding you and another candidate, if you both have the same technical skills, why should they choose you instead of the other person? That is where your EQ matters. That is where your core competencies, your soft skills come to play, your leadership qualities. And these are some things that is not taught in a course or a college or your master's. These are some things that you pick up when you work, when you interact, when you develop those skills day in and day out. So my top two skills for sure is communication, soft skills, and then I would also say focus on cultural integration. So when you are new to the US job market, you're not just new to the job market, but you're also new to the country, to the people, and you are going to work with them every day. You are in a place where you got to understand what it takes for you to feel accepted and also feel like this is your place to be. So one is you need to accept this, that this is your new home, this is your new country, this is your new workplace, these are your new coworkers, these are your new friends. But they also have to accept you, right? If you feel like the odd one out, even if you get a good fat paycheck at the end of the month, you may not enjoy your job. And you can brush it off by saying they're office politics, but really it could be something that you could be good at. So cultural integration is important as landing that job, because when you are culturally integrated, you will perform better at that job. So top three skills from me is communication, soft skills, and cultural integration, which goes over and above your technical skills. And these are not some things that you can show on your resume, but it is something that you can display and show them that you are the right person.
Thanks, Anjali. And what's one thing that you would have done differently?
Uh, During my job search,
Just generally, like the initial year, let's say, right? What's something that you wish you did differently in the initial years, and you wish you kind of had somebody tell you about this?
I wish I was more active on social media. I came in very late. I even started jumping onto social media after when I was looking for my second job. So it took me a long time to come on social media and even explore what social media has to offer. And I have to say social media is very powerful. People have started landing jobs through social media. Can you believe it? Just by Facebook and Instagram, people are landing in job interviews and getting referrals. I wish I had, tapped on the power of social media when I was new here, because I think I would have learned a lot of things that, I did not find when I searched on Google. The second thing would be, uh, if I had to do something differently, I think I would have taken that. I think I had some kind of air that I don't want to ask anyone for help. So you could call this ego, or you could say that, I was just like not comfortable asking for help, because I was also ashamed of the fact that I couldn't figure this out by myself. And that's the other reason, right? I didn't know if there were other people going through this. I was not on social media, so I was already in this small little box going through it by myself. So I wish I had asked for help sooner. I wish I had not told myself that it is my duty to figure everything out when there were no answers in front of me. So if I could have done things differently, I would have asked for help sooner. I would have accepted the fact that, yes, it is taking me longer than I imagined, and I could use some help and advice from people. Um, so it is never too late. I think after that, I have never been ashamed to ask for anything. I am the first person to ask for help. You will never see me drowning now. After that phase, I've realized that if you don't ask for help, you don't get help. So lean on that person, find that person, whoever that person is, and ask for help. Second, be present. Be social, be present. Opportunities are everywhere, but you have to learn how to look for it. So those are my two big learnings.
Thanks, Anjali. I see we have a bunch of questions here. Any question that you'd like to kind of take on? I know we have one from Bhavna. How to hold the communication during an interview? I think she means that how do you kind of Bhavna? Do you want to come and elaborate on that? But I think she means that she like how do you kind of keep a conversation going? I know I feel like we've all been there where the interviewer asks you, tell me a little bit about you, and you go on for like 30 minutes like this is me, and that's extremely boring, and I've been told
Yeah.
that. But yeah, any tips around that?
I think one tip that I learned was to break the ice. So a lot of times we go in and we're like super serious. They're like, yes, I want to get this job. Today I'm going to impress the hell out of them. But instead, use that initial time to break the ice. If you're good with humor, use humor. If you're good with giving compliments, give them compliments. If you are good with small talk, go for it, because people love making small talk. So if you can find one small connection, one small thing that is common between you two, I think you've really set the stage and you've eased both the parties. So that way you are more at ease when you know that, yes, I just saw that other person smiling, so I feel more comfortable. If you smile, it makes the interviewer more comfortable. I have gotten feedback that uh, when I walk out of the interview, interviewers are still smiling. So if I could leave a smile on their face, probably I said something that, struck to them. I don't think they were smiling because they were so amazed and impressed by my capabilities. I think what helps is when you connect with them as humans and stop looking at them like they are interviewers and they're going to determine my future. I think we put that pressure on ourselves so much that we tend to not be ourselves. So be yourself and talk to them like you would regularly do. Not super casual, obviously, they're not your buddies, but keep that balance where they feel they're talking to an actual person who is not reciting answers from the typical interview answers. That's my tip. Just be real.
Absolutely, and I think that's such a great wrap up. Before we do leave, Anjali, how can anyone reach out to you? I do want to mention that Anjali does have her mentorship hours listed with Products by Women, so you can go to our website, schedule a call with her if you have any questions after this. But Anjali, how's anybody going to get access to your toolkits, your upcoming information? I know you shared it earlier, but for anybody who joined us a little later, it'll be great if you can just share that information again.
Yes, so I not only have the toolkits, which is the online course, but I also have several other things. So if that is not something for you, I have something, for each person here. So you can contact me. The best way to contact me is on Instagram. If you have a short question, Instagram is the best way to contact me. If your question is longer, or if you have a couple of things that you want to ask me, like Naimisha suggested, I am a mentor listed on Products by Women. So you can go and schedule 30 minutes of time with me and then have your top 2 or 3 questions prepared, and I will be happy to answer them. And if you would like to discuss further in terms of, your career, development of skills for you finding a mentor, I also give a free coaching call for anyone who is interested in my mentorship program, which is a 12-week program. So I have all the details listed on my website and my Instagram page. And Nemisha has just shared the link to schedule a call with me. And if you have specific questions, I would be happy to answer those. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Anjali. It was an incredible session, and I'm so happy that you were able to join us today. And we do have a bunch of questions, but we're running out of time today. And for those of you, this session is recorded, and we will be sharing it after, perhaps like tomorrow or day after. And so stay tuned for that. And you can find all the other information on our website, productsbywomen.com, and do reach out to Anjali. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you all. If I haven't answered any questions, you know where to reach me. I'll be happy to answer. And thank you so much for spending this hour with us, and hope this was useful to you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Anjali.
Amisha.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye. Have a good night. Bye.
You too. Bye.